let's get on the horse,
Get on
mate.
the
Get
horse,
on the
yeah.
horse,
Get on the
bucking
horse.
bronco.
Yeah, absolutely. We do geology. What's geology? Oh, it's easy. You look at rocks all day. I was like, mate, sign me up. He goes, why is that? How do you know all that? I was like, well, Dad, I was there today. Except there was 500 metres of sky above me and there's 500 metres of rock when you were there
Crazy.
21 years ago. Talk about history. Like Klondike was found in 1897. It was the biggest producer. Nuggets everywhere. The story goes, a little lump of gold with rocks.
You're legitimately boots on the ground, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's awesome to hear. What's Golden Horse's strategy for the next 12 months?
Get on the horse.
Get on the horse. Get on the horse. Welcome back to another episode on the Gold Room podcast. Thanks for tuning in to another episode. Today, Dean, thank you very much for coming in to join me, mate. I see you're quite active on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
and the Golden Horse Minerals is off for a run.
It is. We're off to a canter in 2026.
Beautiful.
Get on the horse. Got to say it first.
Yeah, I know
get
that.
It done with. But no, it's going to be a really exciting 26 and looking forward to seeing what the year brings.
Beautiful, mate. Well, we're going to get into Golden Horse Minerals very bloody shortly.
Yep.
But first, we always start with the life and the times, mate. So take us back to your early years. Kalgoorlie boy. You've got a beautiful family that you're telling me about, so let's rip into it.
Yeah, for sure. Born in 1984, so from the ripe old age of 41.
Great year, mate.
Got told I was middle-aged by my son the other day.
How old's your boy?
He's turned 14 a couple of days
same
ago.
as mine.
And I'm not middle-aged, not yet.
I felt middle-aged about 35, mate.
So born in Cal. Dad was he started off as an underground sparky on the gold mine, the North Kalgoorlie shaft. Gold price back then was dreadful. Within a couple of weeks, he got into the health and safety side. He's done health and safety ever since.
Yeah, okay.
But effectively the gold price was really terrible. North Kalgoorlie mine's about to shut down. So he took mum up. They had my elder sister Elise in 82. I was born in 84. And I think it was about 6 weeks, 3 months old. They moved to a little town called Eneabba.
Oh, yeah.
All the mineral sands.
Mineral sands, yeah.
Yeah, all the mineral sands was people out there. And those bits between, or just out of Geraldton there. So had a couple of years in Eneabba and eventually moved into a house in Kingsley. Grew up in and around there and effectively still stayed north of the river. Went through high school at Chisholm College in Bedford and Inglewood. Did okay. History and English were my favourite subjects. Science was like whatever, maths was, whatever. Got into uni, got kicked out in 6 months' time.
What for, mate? What'd you do?
A lot of things.
Go on, name a couple.
My best subject, I think I got 53%.
Okay.
The worst was 10%.
Oh, mate.
On average, it was about 22.
C's to get degrees.
No.
And obviously you didn't get that. You got F's and...
Well, I was doing computer science, and at the time, when you're 17, you don't know much. I'm just going to,
Straight out of high school, straight to university, eh?
Yeah, that's it.
What'd you choose? Computer science?
Computer science, thought it was.
Hated it.
I loved playing computer games and thought that translated into a career in computers. Obviously, it didn't. 6 months later, got kicked out.
Shit, mate, you're of the Commodore 64.
Yeah, Amiga.
Amiga,
Yeah. That's it. I've still got a Super Nintendo at home.
Yeah?
Would you believe? Yeah.
Wow.
And then effectively, Mum told me, get a job or get out.
Yeah.
So found a job at CR Kennedy of all places. And
What's CR Kennedy?
They imported Pentax cameras,
Okay.
Pentax medical devices, CCTV, and Leica survey equipment.
Oh, wow.
And at the time...
First little taste of bloody
mining, yeah. And when they said, hey, look, we do survey equipment, I was like, oh, that's odd. Why would you call up people and, I've got a survey, what do you think about this?
Yeah.
Turns out it's mine surveying, a bit different.
Yeah, totally different.
And hung out there for a year and, towards the end, I was getting $300 a week, had a girlfriend, wanted to move out. I was like, okay, I get $300 a week, that's sweet. How much is rent? $300. I'm like, we can live there. We can't eat, can't drink, can't have power, no internet, no nothing. Mobile phones weren't a thing back then. So, better go back to uni. And chatting with the guys in the survey team, they kind of said, have you thought about going back to uni, School of Mines? Oh, yeah, why not? And what's surveying? Oh, you walk out and got your jigger and pick up points. Whatevs. So go see Norm Stockton, who was running Was in Perth at the time. Said, I want to go back into uni, ripe old age of 18 now. And hey, what are you doing? Because we do mining engineering. That sounds really cool. What's mining engineering? Oh, well, you run the mine. If people die, you go to jail.
That's enough to... No, thanks.
I was like, yeah, no, thanks. What else? He goes, we do metallurgy. Oh, mate, that sounds really cool. What's metallurgy? Oh, it's all chemistry based. Mate, I failed that in year 10. Chance I'm going to suck at that too. What else? He goes, we do geology. What's geology? Oh, it's easy. You look at rocks all day. I was like, mate, sign me up. So that was the story. That was mid-year of 2003, sorry. And when I enrolled, they said you can do your degree in 2.5 years or 3.5 because it's a 3-year degree.
Yep.
And I thought, bugger, I'll do it in 2.5. So 18 months later, a friend of a friend was my fiance at the time, moved to Kalgoorlie, lived in Peacey Street in Boulder, just near Luton Railway Park, just behind the near the Metropole and the Albion Shamrock.
Oh, mate, I've been there a few too many times.
Yeah, the Albion Shamrock.
I lived on Millen Street. Millen Street in Boulder.
Yeah, around the corner. The Albion Shamrock was a great pub as well. Good feed.
Yeah, great feed.
Good.
The Metropole was awesome.
Yeah.
I knew the old owner there, Steve. He's an old air league miner.
Yeah.
It's not open anymore.
It's
shut
tragic.
down.
Yeah, they had the earthquake, I'm going to say 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago.
Closer to 15 years ago, I'd say, because it was before 2013. I arrived in 2013.
Yeah.
But they did open the Metropole up again.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was busy, and then it was busy while I was there. I think we left at the end of 18.
Yeah.
And not long after that, it closed down.
Do you reckon there's a correlation between you being in Boulder and that pub shutting?
I think
Once you left, the pub shut down?
Yeah, look, I certainly wasn't throwing any more dollary dues in there, that's for sure.
We're around 2004, moved up to Kalgoorlie.
With the missus?
Yeah, or now ex-missus, but fiancé at the time.
Okay.
So I was doing third year. I was kind of doing 1.5 subjects at a time to kind of catch up.
Yep.
Another story about getting kicked out of a structural geology class, but that's for another time over a beer. But in essence, working 2 days a week at St. Ives Gold Mine in the exploration team there as a exploration student geologist, if you will.
Yeah. What year was that?
2005.
Okay.
Yep. So studying 3 days, working 2 days, living on the bones of my ass, trying to just scrape money together to pay uni bills and food bills and power bills and all that sort of jazz.
Yep.
You know, as a 20-something years old, graduated, and just out of dumb luck, there was a vacation job going at KCGM. So I've just spent.
What a place.
Yeah, so it was just bizarre. Like that first day, rolled in, and we're doing a mark-up in stores. What the hell is that? So it all mark up. The surveyors come along, put the dots on the ground. The geos come along with pegs, and they had KCGM's a bit different. They've got little plastic polypipe effectively, and red was high grade and green was medium grade and whatever else.
Yep.
And at that point, it was very early or very late 2005, standing on this bench in the middle of stores cut back, in the middle of the pit.
Yep.
And what we had as our markups is you had the ore blocks with a white background at A3 sheet of paper. And on the flip side, you had the old underground maps. And where I was standing near the North Kalgoorlie shaft, where my dad was back in 1984. So I rang up Dad that night. I was like, hey, Dad, you're not going to believe this. But were you ever working on the 17 level or whatever it was? Yeah, I was there all the time. They had a substation around here and yada, yada, yada.
Amazing.
He goes, why is that? How do you know all that? I was like, well, Dad, I was there today, except there was 500 metres of sky above me and there's 500 metres of rock when you were there.
Crazy.
21 years ago.
It's amazing the photos over the years of
it's wild.
That hole in the ground. It's wild, eh?
Yeah, absolutely crazy.
What'd your old man reckon?
He thought, Mum and Dad have always been proud of me, thankfully. Made a few mistakes, not going to lie. But effectively we had a couple of years in Cal, had a little girl, and at the time it was, hey, look, this isn't working. We'll go back to Perth. So I was lucky enough to find an exploration geologist job in Perth.
Yep. It was just that the Kalgoorlie life wasn't working.
It was more, everyone says with Cal, bring a pram. And it's true, right? There's not much to do. And there's a story around 2008. A couple of young kids thought it was funny because they'd broken into, and this is before the days of Netflix and streaming services, by the way. So in the olden days, which is 2008 for me, they had the TV station in Perth that shot all the satellite up in the sky and bounced off the cloud and magic happened. And in Kalgoorlie, these three young individuals thought it'd be great fun to break in there and cut all the cables as a joke. And that happened in life, and they came in, fixed cables, job done. A couple of days later, nothing doing. And it turns out 9 months later, there's a baby boom in Kalgoorlie.
Really?
20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, even 50-year-old ladies coming in, popping out kids. And the Kalgoorlie Regional Hospital rang up the Cal Miner. I was like, hey,
got a great story here for you.
What's going on? Can you just go through archives and what was happening, in the past 12 months? Had this massive baby boom, and sure enough, Kalgoorlie Miner. Oh, there was 3 kids, 15-year-olds, broke into, the Channel 7 or Channel 9 or WIN, whatever it is, compound and cut all the cables. And obviously it was a cold winter's night in Kalgoorlie.
It's got to do something to keep warm, right?
There's no TV. So, but yeah, getting back on topic, it was always hard for my ex-wife to be 600 k's away from her family and friend and support network. And like I said, having Olivia and going back to Perth was trying to do the right thing by her. And unfortunately, that relationship didn't work out. But in the meantime, I was
onwards and upwards.
Yeah, and so that 3 years as being a geologist, ended up doing FIFO at Wodgina as a senior geo. Obviously, the GFC hit end of 2008. Got made redundant, and in those 3 years, I was studying engineering part time, and I was kind of sitting at home. Yeah, end of 2008, saw a thing pop up on Facebook. Darren Strahler, of all people.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Vallve, he's going all right now.
Oh, he's bloody tall.
Yeah, he's bloody tall. He's bloody tall.
So we and the Facebook ad was literally, it's a 3-month contract for a drill blast engineer, 3 years experience on, the Wasm Social Club, something or other.
Yep.
So I emailed Darren, didn't know who he was from Barra. So hey mate, I've got 3 years experience, but there's all in geology. I've got a grad dip. I'm unemployed. What do you reckon? And he gave me a start. And,
awesome.
and to his credit, Darren Strahler, I'm here today because of Strahler, let's be honest.
Oh, awesome.
So he gave me a start, and that kind of turned into 6 months of office time, got 6 months of underground, and you talk about turning doors moments. And obviously that was Intrepid Mines, and the mine was winding down, went from 40 or 50 people underground, 3 drill rigs underground, down to 6. So you do a bit of charge up in the morning, driving a truck in the afternoon, sort of thing. That was your regular day. And as it panned out, because I got made redundant at Wodgina, I was always self-conscious and, single dad. Money was tight. So it was, hey, look.
Who was looking after Olivia when you were...
it was the ex-wife was looking after.
Yeah, okay. So 50-50.
Yeah, I was on 2 and 1 and 9 5s.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you went,
kind of 1/3 on a good day, good week, good swing. But yeah, in essence, really cautious about being unemployed again. So job came up at Wiluna Gold when it was Apex Minerals, and so didn't do a site visit. And hot tip for everyone out there, do a site visit if you can.
Wow, yeah, a lot of companies these days don't want to be doing that.
Yeah, well, it costs money, right?
Yeah, flying someone up for them just to have a look around the plant and go, hey, listen, this isn't a Chris Ellison bloody mineral resources site, and you've got a camp there, and what is the food like? And I'm not happy with that.
Yeah,
so there's so many choices out there. So shoot, if I was a miner, I wouldn't be flying people willy nilly. Maybe if it's upper management, you'd be doing it.
Yes, and I was an engineer, right? Obviously.
You're not bottom of the barrel there, are you?
Oh, yeah, mate. Engineers bottom of the barrel. That's what everyone else thinks. But yeah, so in effect, it was took this role at Wiluna and Strahlo. Like I said, it was literally the last Wildcat program, and Strahlo goes, are you sure? Yes. Are you really, really sure? There's stuff on the horizon. Like, Darren, I don't want to be unemployed, so I'll take this job at Wiluna. And I resigned, and I think week 3 of my notice period, go 4 weeks notice, do the right thing. Week 3, they found... the Northern Star takeover happened, and they'd found, I think, Voyager or Voyager 2, whatever the ore body was, there was a fault offset.
Yep.
The turning doors moment, if I'd have stuck around and believed what Strahlo said, I could have been, Northern Star's next golden child.
Wow.
That close.
Well, mate, look.
End up here, of course.
You are now looking to be, you've only been in the job 3 months.
Yes.
You are looking to be, and as I said before, you're active on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
which is great. I always like to see that. The company heads that are out there just slinging the company's praises. I think it's great. That should hold great sentiment for investors and
for sure,
stakeholders within the company. Yep. So let's get on the horse, mate. Get on the horse, bucking bronco.
Yeah, absolutely. Ask you a question, Josh. Go. If you said,
no one does this to me.
It's a reverse podcast, everyone.
Go, mate. Hit me with it. I'll take a drink of water.
If you said finding gold in the goldfields, ignore the Pilbara and the Kimberley, because that's where I got found first. How do you reckon the prospects would have found gold? Where'd they come from?
Where did the prospects come from?
Yep.
They made their way from Perth.
Want to have another guess?
If they came from over East Victoria, they did have some good gold finds over there.
Yeah. There's a book called The Rush That Never Ended by Jeffrey Blaney, and that was my...
you do like history. I like that.
I'm a nerd. Yeah,
you
I'm
did
a nerd.
say that.
the story goes, obviously gold was found up in Halls Creek, and then they kind of came down.
Why are they not? Sorry, bro, but why are they not bloody doing more gold mining up there? Iron ore's taken over for sure, and they run on the land. But why centralised goldfields? A little bit down south, but why are they not bloody hooking up north?
Well, being lazy. Kalgoorlie's a great place. You live there. I've lived there. 30,000 people. It's easy, right? Well, easier than other places. You go to Port Hedland, you go to Broome, go to Derby, Wyndham, Kununurra, a place like that. It's hard to get stuff there.
Yeah, there's some miners out the Tanami.
Yeah, and touching on the horse, we're 4 hours from Perth, 2 hours from Cal. Like if we don't have stuff from Kalgoorlie, we can get it from Perth.
Yeah. So you got Central Southern Cross, eh?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So I mean the pitch we've just I'll talk about last year. Started in the job, and then basically, hey, look, need to build a team. We've got some pretty aggressive plans, and Nick, the MD, said, look, what do you reckon? This could be anything, but how do you want to set it up? I said, we're going to need a strong on-site team. If we're going to have heaps of drill rigs there, we're going to need heaps of people. It's as simple as that.
Yep. I mean, in the last 12 months, 21 cents to 91 cents.
Oh, not quite, but yeah, it's pretty healthy. Yeah. I mean, for any IPO, they always IPO at 20, 25 cents. And, I think, call me a liar, 2023, 22, something like that. It was 130 IPOs.
Yeah, okay.
And I guarantee you that 10 are still around, and, whatever something lithium is now something gold and everything like that. So for us to list at 20 and 4x is a great outcome.
Yeah, for sure.
And it talks to, the belief in the story. Like we're sitting on something huge here, let's be honest.
Yep.
It's, I guess 2026 for us is about execution. So not only is it, hey, here's a plan, but let's execute on the plan. And part of that is, like I said, started in October, had a couple of months. Day one was in the office. Day two, straight driving to site, 4 days on site. We had a board meeting on Wednesday. Where's Dean? Oh, he's on site. Oh, okay, well, let's dial him in. So I got dialed into the board meeting, and all these directors have never met. I'm the new guy, and I'm already on site, sort of thing. But that's a core value for me. Like, you've got to walk the walk, and you've got to talk the talk.
Yep.
And there's no, you
go
can't
out and have a look at the ground. Yeah. See what everyone's doing.
Kick the rocks and have a yarn. And the amount of insights you get from offsiders and geos and fieldies and people like that they're in it day in and day out. And you walk around a plant, the amount of millies you've probably had a chat to over the years, and what's this going on here? Well, this is always buggered and rah-rah. And like, as a spark, you can see the process plan a different way, but they'll see it a different way. And then the metallurgists and the chemical engineers and all the other guys and girls.
Metallurgists spend a lot more time on Google than anything else.
Microsoft Excel, I'm told.
Yeah. Figuring out what the bloody hell's going on. What does this bloody mean?
That's just AI.
Belt cut. Yeah. Oh, come on.
Yeah, that's it. Part of the process for last year was very much just build the team and get it set up for success. So we're really
and you've got a great team.
Fantastic. Yeah, John Delamata, exploration manager, absolute weapon. I'm not going to say we stole him, but effectively, super asset to the team. Omar and Mark, those three gentlemen are Curtin Geos, Curtin University. Were my alma mater, the School of Mines.
Yep.
They are fantastic people, fantastic geologists. And fortunately for us, we've been able to attract a really high caliber worth of candidate. And you talk about the Pilbara before, like a couple of years ago, I was the mining manager for Calidus, so we built the Warrawena gold mine. So getting there when it was literally rolling.
Kevin Jones was a maintenance superintendent up there, I believe.
Was he?
Up at Calidus, I think.
Yeah, right.
Well, you guys had a processing plant up there?
Yeah, we built it. Yeah, for sure. So you kind of go there and talk about history. Like Klondike was found in 1897. It was the biggest producer, nuggets everywhere. The story goes, there was a lump of gold with rocks hanging off it, not the other way around.
Amazing.
So we effectively turned that from Pilbara Hills into a 2.4 million tonne per annum plant, 240-man camp. And that was in the middle of nowhere. So we're 25k south of Marlborough. There's a World War II, secret World War II air base just around the corner, Corona Downs. And you compare that to Southern Cross, there's 3 pubs. There's trucks going up and down the highway all times.
Yep.
Something goes wrong, you're 4 hours or 2 hours from Perth and Kalgoorlie respectively. I can leave home at 4 o'clock in the morning or 4:30 in the morning and get to site.
We did the other day.
Yeah, it's good times.
Yeah.
And, so that's the opportunity. And I think, answering your question, I asked you the question, how the history of Southern Cross was found is there was actually prospectors coming from the Murchison, so Nanine, Sandstone, Yalgoo, that sort of neck of the woods. They found Golden Valley. in I think it was 1890, and then they're like, where the hell are we? And they used the Southern Cross to guide themselves south, and eventually shipped over Frasers in the late 1890s, and then they headed east from there out to Kalgoorlie and then on to Kalgoorlie and so on and so forth. So when you look at a map of Western Australia today, you go, okay, there's Perth, there's the Wheat Belt, there's Southern Cross. Oh, they must have found gold there and just kept heading east because that makes logical sense, but it's completely the wrong way around. Went through Golden Valley where Marionette and Star of Ewan is. We did some drilling up there late last year.
How'd that go?
Yeah, really good. Yeah. We tested the Marionette Star of Ewan trend. As I said, that was really, really positive results. We're going to go back and drill test that again. We have only tested 300 metres of strike, but without being weird about it, I was with Travis Vernon, our geology manager. We kind of, and Omar as well. And there's a set of workings about 500 metres to the north of that. And we got out and you looked at the rocks, they're all cooked up, sulphides, quartz everywhere. Like, it just looked amazing. Not a drill hole to be seen. There's old rusty jam tins and stuff like that. Someone's had a crack at it 100 years ago and walked away. No one's touched it ever since. So we're kind of sitting there going, well, we've tested 300 metres. You go another 500, someone's had a crack. And there's enough rocks and dirt around. Someone's had chucked a shaft. There was a couple of sets of shafts and workings there. Someone's had a red hot crack at this. That's 800 metres we can potentially test. And most open pits nowadays, you try and aim for 400 in a pit is about right.
Okay.
So 800 plus is just money for jam.
Yep, beautiful.
So that was really cool. Obviously, Lakeview, Baby Queen, that's a bit further to the west or southwest of where Marionette Star of Ewan is. That had some really interesting hits as well. So definitely a follow-up. So we had a mapper out there, let's say November, just really trying to assess.
You're legitimately boots on the ground, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's awesome to hear.
Yeah, we try. And like as I said, you need to, investors put money in your company to invest in gold, right? Or exploration, or whatever you're searching for. They're not, hey, look, sit in Perth or West Perth or Subiaco and twiddle your thumbs. Definitely. We'll pay the MD 250 grand a year to twiddle their thumbs and rehash old releases. Like, I think I've got ADHD because I just want to get out and kick rocks on ground. Like I've been told several times, just
dial it back, mate.
So when John started, I kind of said, got him in. I was like, hey, look, we're a lot of work to do in January. Do you want me to be on site or not? Like I'm comfortable, either which I'd love to be on site for January, but it's your team. Got a couple of new geos, a couple of new fieldies. What do you want to do? And he goes, Dean, look, I love you, but can you just stay away for a month? So I've literally just cooled my heels. We've already got the site trip booked for next week, being early February. But like I said, it's been a hard month.
You'll be attending the RIU conference?
Absolutely, yeah. Looking forward to it, yeah. I think Nicky's presenting on the day, Tuesday the 17th, I believe. Looking forward to what we kind of release there because it's going to be some exciting times, as I said, in 2026. Alluded to it in that presentation the other day. We said 125 Ks of drilling. Yep. But there's a bit more to the story that we want to tell at RIU.
Beautiful, mate. Save it for them. Sure.
Mate,
we've got project focus and strategy. So what's Golden Horse doing? Do you think the mining industry sounds, certainly now with, the gold rush, the modern day gold rush, heaps of explorers, everyone's out there. There's drilling companies just are bloody super happy. You drive around West Cal there and there's a couple of drill rigs in, but they are there for maintenance. Yep. All of them are out. Yep. It's an amazing time to be in gold. Yep. What's Golden Horse's strategy for the next 12 months?
Yeah, look, I think, we have kind of alluded to the fact we're going to drill 125 plus thousand Ks of drilling. The lazy sort of mass.
That's a heap of drilling. How much does that cost the company?
The lazy budget number, if you want to back the fag packet, if you will, it's about $125 a metre for RC and $275 for diamond. Yep. So that's just the raw drilling cost. It obviously costs more, about $25 per assay. And then obviously your geo costs, your fieldy costs, all the other bits and pieces. So again, one of the advantages we've got in town is we can rent houses. So we've gone from living at the pub, which was $200 per person per day, into renting our own house, which is $500 a week. And it's
$500 a week.
And it's $5.
Someone's looking after you, mate, because the rental prices in Kalgoorlie at the moment are
ridiculous,
astronomical. Like people are $750 to $1,000 a week.
That's Port Hedland prices.
It was Port Hedland like 2013, 2014. Remember when the houses were $2,500 a week? They're $1 million. It was a rubbish $300,000 home, and they were selling for $1.5 million.
Yeah,
wild time.
Yeah, well.
We haven't seen that house price increase in Kalgoorlie.
Yeah.
But certainly the rent. Anyway, mate, sorry.
Yeah,
just
that's cool.
$500 a week shocked the shit out of me.
Yeah. Well, I want to hear about the $350 a week one then.
Well, far out. Yeah, someone's looking after you, mate, I said.
But that's like, at the end of the day, like a month before I got into Golden Horse officially, I bought, a number of shares, not going to say how many, but enough to make it worth my while. And as an employee, you have to be invested. And one thing, you look back on past companies and Saracen stands out to me. And one of the things they always said is we want our people to act like owners. And part of that structure was in their ASX presentations, they'd say like 95, 96, 97% of our employees are shareholders. Beautiful. Now, what better way can you incentivize your employees to go, hey, look, if you work hard today, you think innovatively, you act safely, you behave safely, you encourage, proactivity, that's a virtuous cycle, right? So you look after your employees, they look after the business. It's a no-brainer.
That's right.
So for us and for me personally, like that's very much a case of look after your people. And like I said, I'd love to spend $200 per person per day at the pub, and it's great for the pub. Don't get me wrong, and it's local spend, so the money's in the community. But at the end of the day, too, like these two houses, it's somebody's house that they're renting out to us. We're buying food at the food land in town. Obviously, the water rates, the land rates, all that sort of fun stuff. But instead of spending this much money on accommodation and not in the ground, we can spend less money in the housing, that sort of space, and the rest of that money goes into the ground. That's why we've been able to commit, pretty big exploration budget, to be honest, around $25 million plus and minus. Beautiful. It's terrifying.
Yep. So we had Alex on the show. Yep. And Bright Stars going from strength to bloody strength. I think they had $35 million of a exploration drill budget, which is so you guys aren't trailing too far behind there.
Yeah, I will find more.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Mate, let's get into market and timing.
Sure.
Right. So timing wins a better time than now.
Oh, it's crazy.
The market is gold. Actually, you also have a copper.
Sorel Copper Project in
That's
Eneabba.
right.
Literally a couple of hours ago, walked out of a meeting with our consultant geologist, Maverick, good people, and they've just telling us about the opportunities there. So it's
huge opportunities.
We've got 88,000 tons of copper in the ground. Obviously, copper's going on a bit of a tear as well. So in-ground value is pretty impressive, and I think personally the market doesn't ascribe any value to that.
They should, because copper goes in and we're not recycling it because it's one of those minerals that goes in the ground. You pull it out of the ground, but it goes in, like electrically.
Yeah, for sure.
And we need it, look at Next DC, look at, where everything's electrifying. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So we certainly need more. There's, market analysts that are saying, well, by 2030, if we don't start pulling it out of the ground, we're not going to have any.
Correct.
2030's round the bloody corner, mate.
It's terrifying.
Yeah. Scary.
Yeah. I'm not a Bitcoin expert, an AI expert or anything, but that all needs computers. What are computers made out of? Ignoring all the circuit boards, which is the PCBs are all like plastic and I don't know, fiberglass, whatever, but there's a fair amount of gold in there, but copper's right up there as well.
Silver.
And the story I got told is, and this was 10 or 15 years ago, is like, that's when iron ore was booming. And they said, the first thing you do when you build a house, you need a heap of concrete, which is generally locally sourced, and steel. And then you need to build the house. And obviously that's where your copper comes into play. So having a copper wires, blah, blah, whatever. And then the house settles down. The people move in. They settle in. Oh, let's start buying some jewelry. Let's get married. Let's have kids, all that sort of jazz. And the commodity cycle kind of goes on from there. So, that was being told about 10, 15 years ago when China was booming. And I've been to China. It's a crazy place.
What do you reckon? You like China?
I'd prefer Australia, mate. Yep. China's amazing, don't get me wrong. But from a little country bumpkin bloke from Kalgoorlie, it was a bit...
Where'd you go in China?
So flew into Beijing and then out to Qingdao or in around Yantai. So only 120, 130 k's away from North Korea. So I couldn't quite see it, but...
knew it was there in the background.
Yeah, but I it's funny. So, I'm 6'2".
Yeah, you're tall as fuck. It's the end photos at the end aren't going to be great for me because I'm always the shortest bloke out.
I can sit down if you want, mate.
Thanks, mate. Thank you.
But we were in regional areas looking at ball mills and accommodation camps and stuff like that for Bright Star.
Yep.
And I was probably the first white person these guys have seen. I remember a toddler walked up to me and started crying and pointing at me crying, and his mum had to So
I've been to a few places many years ago in China where I had the same thing.
Yeah.
I hopped off a train and all these people just staring at me.
Yeah.
And I asked this bloke that we were with, I was like, so what's the crack here? What's going on?
Yeah.
And he said exactly that. You'd be the first Westerner. He didn't say white person. He said, you're the first Westerner that these people have ever seen.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, that's crazy.
But to come from that and then to come home, you just realise how lucky you are. And you know, I've been fortunate to take our kids to, you know, a couple of different countries, and every time our kids come, and we had over the Christmas break, went away for a bit, and, you know, our daughter basically said, oh, I'm so glad we live in Perth. Yeah. What an amazing place.
Yeah, Australia, it's
land of opportunity.
Took the words right out of my mouth, mate. That's exactly right. Let's get back on track. Yep. Copper.
Yeah, copper, it's the thematic is there. And I was in Hot Chili a couple of years ago. We had a big project, only 1 billion tonnes, about 0.4% copper equivalent, just 1 billion tonnes.
Yep.
And the thematic's there. You look at Chile as well. Like, a lot of their mines are huge, Escondida, El Teniente, places like that, but they are aging. And you're kind of looking at that going, well, where's the next big copper discovery? And with Hot Chili, they had Glencore as a 10% partner or shareholder, more to the point, and they're one of their technical directors. You know, we had a bit to do with him, and I asked him one day, like, I'm used to gold where we'll find a couple of ounces, chuck in a decline, or dig a pit, chuck in a portal, and away you go underground. Glencore's investment thesis was it has to last 2 commodity cycles. So for copper, it's about 10 years, goes up, goes down. So they're looking at a 20-year investment time frame, and once you kind of do that, you go, okay, we want X thousand tonnes of copper per annum, blah, blah, do the maths. Okay, well, this is the scale we need. This is the size of the plant. And then from there, that's when they make their investment. So they could see something at Costa Fuego in Chile. But for us more locally in Sorel, like I said, there's 88,000 tonnes in the ground. There's a number of breccia pipes that, chatting to the geos this morning, like the walk-up starts. But the issue being it is remote, not going to lie. Well, we're blessed in Southern Cross. But the reason why there's still 88,000 tonnes in the ground and it's not in a building somewhere, that copper, is, as I said, that remoteness. But, you know, we'll work through the programs. The way I kind of see it is obviously this calendar year anyways, you know, work through the native title process. And as I said, Maverick's a great support there. They've got a lot of network in and around there. And as I said, try and get some, you know, early stage exploration happening. As I said, we know what the existing drill holes are, but effectively look to, you know, drilling that out perhaps next year.
If you're drilling that out next year, how long do you think until you are mining it? And would there be a time frame that you're thinking of for mining it? And then what would you be doing about processing it?
Well, there was an existing plant on site there once upon a time, an SXEW. So I don't know how much copper metallurgy you know, but there's...
No, not much.
Yeah, so there's a couple of different streams. So your copper sulfides, or sulfides in general, you crush it up, you grind it. They call it flocculent. The metallurgists call it flocculent.
Yep, I do know.
It's dishwashing liquid. That's all it is.
Flocculent is dishwashing liquid.
Effectively, yeah.
All it's doing is bubbling up.
Yeah. You've watched the juice before, it makes bubbles. And obviously there's a chemical reaction. Let's be technical for it. There's a chemical reaction, and obviously the sulfides want to stick to the bubbles. That kind of floats to the top of the tank, and then it kind of piddles out the side, and they collect.
They use flocculent in the gold process in certain places.
Yeah, okay. Oh, in sulfide, yeah.
Sulfide ore.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's one sort of piece, and then obviously you've got the SXEW, and I can't remember the electrowinning is the EW. Solvent extraction, electrowinning is the other sort of process, and effectively the lazy sort of maths behind that is, again, a bit of chemistry, a bit of whatever else magic happens, and then they make some copper cathodes. So one is a copper con, you chuck it in a bag or a sea container, you send it off to China typically, and Europe takes a few concentrates, or you get this pure copper cathode, which is literally like a sheet of pure copper, like 99.999% copper. So there was a plant there once upon a time.
Okay. Yeah, I was talking to Ashok the other day about there's a couple of nickel processing plants. There's one out, Cosmic Boy out in Forestania, and IGO owns it. And I know what he had a hand in a while ago with Black Swan. So Black Swan was a nickel processing plant.
Yeah, for sure.
And then obviously now it's a gold processing plant.
And that's that deal when Horizon announced the merger with Poseidon. At the time, everyone was like, "That's really weird." And Ashok was one of my first chairmen, so got a lot of time for Ashok.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Mayor of Kalgoorlie, unofficial mayor of Kalgoorlie.
Well, I was on the phone to him this morning, calling him the king of Kalgoorlie.
Yeah, king. That's even better. The king. I think kings and mayors.
Yeah, he's definitely the king.
Yeah, for sure. But like as I said, you still need to crush the rock, you still need to grind the rock. So that front end's already there. And I think it's a decent throughput in that sort of piece there. And obviously the sulphide circuit, you can kind of turn that off and just put more tanks in there. And like I said, that interplay for you electrically would be interesting, but I suppose the process flow, like I said, you crush it into a slurry, and then instead of going into the nickel circuit this way, it's got to go that way into the gold, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, okay.
But as I said, a lot of the homework's already been done. And from a permitting approval, I think one thing we should touch on is that whole permitting piece. Like once upon a time, you could find a mine 1 or 2 years be in production. It's only getting harder. So
who do we look to try and speed up that process?
I think
what can be done? Is it a government level?
You've got the lobby groups. You've got AMEC and Chamber of Minerals and Energy and a few others, those sort of punters that can do the lobbying. But at the end of the day, like we need to have our own voice. And I think the Gold Industry Group is fantastic. Wayne Brown was involved with that.
Yep.
But effectively, it's one thing we don't do as a mining industry is kind of articulate how well we do for the economy. I think there's 90,000 mining people.
Everyone's out there giving it a red hot crack.
Yeah.
Mate, everyone's saying, at schools that, there's teachers that aren't really behind mining.
Yeah.
I noticed that with my young fella.
Yep.
But the more people out there singing from I hate saying that. If everyone's singing from the same hymn sheet, that's the most horrible thing in the world to say.
Oh, but look,
it's true though, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Like you got to be on the same page.
Yeah.
And if you got all these different groups banding together and coming together to form one voice, which is the same voice, really.
Yeah.
So I think
just off topic, you would have spent some time in Dean Vallve's pub in
many years ago.
Yeah, great place. Quite a long bar. The amount of service per metre of bar is not great.
Yeah.
By the way, I had a mate kicked out for leaning over the bar having a drink.
Okay.
Back in the Wasm days. But Claude Dean Vallve's, he was the Ashok of his time, and this was World War II. Money was tight. And the gold from Kalgoorlie, like Claude Dean Vallve's, did a heap of work to get the gold mines of Kalgoorlie working to generate gold so the British Empire could pay their bills.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
History buff. That's bloody awesome.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the importance of gold. I'm majority gold. I've done some nickel, base metals, a few other bits and tantalum, lithium, all that sort of stuff. But gold's my bread and butter, I suppose. And, I look at the Southern Cross Belt and I go, hey, look, that hasn't been properly touched, if that's a right way of putting it. But the history of Southern Cross is, as I said, there was a peak in World War I, again, bit of gold to pay the World War bills. Again, World War II, bit of a spike.
Fill the war chest up.
Pretty much, yeah. And gold's a wonderful commodity. It's $7,000 an ounce now, which is insane. It's $500 not that long ago. It went to 600, and I was like, wow, the world's changing.
Someone said 18 months. We're looking at $10,000.
Yeah, right.
That's what I was told about 3 or 4 days ago. I thought. But I mean, if someone said $7,000 to you
a year ago, I'd go, yeah.
2 years ago, or 18 months ago, if someone said, it'll be $7,000, now you'd be like, that's impossible. But look at where we're at. It's wild.
Yeah. Well,
so no one's got a crystal ball.
Yeah.
If they did.
Well, we when we mined Selkirk for Brightstar, like we budgeted $2,750, it was $3,100, and Alex and I were patting each other on the back, going, we're wizards. Look at all the money we've made. If we'd have mined it today, it'd be even more. But back on topic, like I said, you look at Southern Cross, and there's a history there in the early '80s. CIL, carbon in leach, carbon in pulp, got invented, and there was a spike. And Southern Cross one time, they had 7 mills in the district, all the way from Bullfinch or Copperhead, all the way down to Bounty in the south. But there was 7 mills operating, and everyone was kind of like that. 500,000. Hopes Hill, there was a mill there once upon a time, 1.2 million tonne per annum.
Wow.
But the history was, it was just fragmented ownership, and Sons of Gwali kind of did their bits. They bought up Burmine and a few others and kind of consolidated, focused on the Marble Lock Mill that eventually became 2.5 million tonne per annum. Sons of Gwali came into trouble. St. Barb's bought them out. And from that, I'm going to say early 2000s through to about 2012, they had the entire belt, which was the old Sons of Gwali, which is now St. Barb's. They had 130, 140, 150 k's of strike of a massive gold belt.
Yeah.
And whether it's human behaviour, exploration, budget constraints, whatever it is, but they effectively just focused in around the Marble Lock region. Yeah, they went a bit further north and they kind of stopped around Fraser's or Golden Pig. So if you ever drive that Perth to Kalgoorlie, as you get to Southern Cross, the big pit on the right-hand side, the southern side, that's Fraser's.
Yep.
Golden Pig's a bit literally hop, skip and a jump on the other side of the road.
We were up around Tallis the other day, and the Mega Resources project,
nice.
Taipan Gold.
Mm.
So got to have a little tour through the bloody Southern Cross area. It was awesome.
Yeah, and that's the opportunity for us, right? So you kind of go to, the better part of 10, 20 years, the exploration effort was all on south of the highway. So over the journey, John Jones, through, I think he had his own private company, Surveyor Resources, kind of did a bit of consolidating, wheeling and dealing, and got everything but Hopes Hill. And then essentially Emerald Resources in their takeover bullseye, they were focused on the Dingo Road project north of Laverton, but they had this little couple of tenements in around the Southern Cross region, and then effectively, that was the cornerstone, the missing piece, if you will, is the main Hopes Hill tenement. And to give you some context, it mined 30,000 ounces in the 1910s and about another 170, 180, something like that in the 80s. So its own mill and a pit that went down 80-odd metres, and they mined it for a couple of years, made all this money, got some dirt in from Pilot and Corinth and a few others, that sort of in and around the district, and then they shut it down, and that was the end of the story. But, that deposit and that pit was tenement constrained.
Yep.
And again, go technical here, you got your geotechnical zone of instability. So when you design a pit, like obviously the Whittle shell, you put in the inputs and the Whittle says, hey, look, go mine this. And, you chat to the geotech engineers, they say there's your wall angles and whatever else. But if there's any artificial constraints, whether that is a road or a rail corridor or a tenement boundary in this case, like you kind of have to back engineer the pit away because... you
can also start looking at going underground though, can't you?
Well...
Once you've mined out that pit.
The issue being is the ore body was dipping that way and the tenement boundary was there, so they couldn't physically get the drills in. If it was the other way, sure. could have been the same story. But the plant and the waste dump and the tailings dam is all on this side on the footwall. Obviously, the ore body's dipping this way, and again, there's literally a fence there. Hey, look,
can't go over it.
So they could kind of get right to the edge and almost get the nose of the drill rig touching the fence and poking in holes, and they knew it kept going. But until that ownership constraint kind of married in, they were pretty much hamstrung with what they did. And that kind of sat there for the better part of 10, 15, 20 years. So it's only Golden Horse since IPO, so it's been around for 12 months in the ASX. It was a TSX company called Altan Rio before that.
Yep.
But it's only the past 12 months. We've done, I think, 41,500 metres according to our database.
Awesome.
41,551 if you want to be accurate. But it's only through that last consolidation piece we've actually go, hey, look, we've now got the entire belt. We've got 130 k's of strike. It's effectively untouched. Geophysical targets light up everywhere. There's a place called Paddocks that I'm really keen to get into. Yep. That's part of the exploration plan that we're going to crack on with this year. But fundamentally, it's going to be a two-pronged approach at Southern Cross, which is, yes, we're going to build out that Hopes Hill resource, find that we know it's there, but, drill it out, confirm it, whatever. That'll come out mid-year, plus or minus. And the intent being is beyond that, pretty much 1 month every quarter is we're going to go send the RC drill rig out and test all these regional projects. We've got on the list as big as my arm.
Beautiful.
But the intent being is there's plenty of targets to prospect, and effectively it's just working through that project pipeline as
awesome.
Well.
Mate, we're going to finish up today with people and culture. So obviously, look, you've only been there 3 bloody months, but most of the people you're working with, and certainly the culture that Golden Horses is trying to build.
Yep.
What do you think you're bringing to the table there? A little bit of ADD, a little bit of a little bit of enjoyment.
Well, funny you mentioned that. I been seeing a psychologist, and
a little bit of mental health.
Well
done,
haven't we all? And did a little bit of a test, and he's like, "Oh, you're very much on the spectrum for ADHD
I get
and
told
autism
this. I get
as
told,
well." Yeah.
Autism as well. I haven't been told autism, but through some friends and everyone who's a doctor these days everyone's pointing the finger at me saying, "Oh shit, you've got some of the ADD," or a touch. Friends of mine might say, "Oh, a little touch of the tism."
Yeah, that's it. Risen with the tism.
But anyway, it's not a laughing matter. It's not a laughing matter. But anyway, you're gonna bring some of that, not the tism.
Yeah, for sure. But I think that's the thing, right? Is in this game, you can be a specialist, and that's what experts are for, right? They're fantastic. One particular thing for me, like, was a geologist, wasn't very good. Became an engineer, wasn't very good. Now I've somehow landed in this role through a lot of hard work, and everyone kind of says, "Geez, you've gotten lucky," but I think you have to work hard for your luck.
Absolutely.
But as I said, the thesis behind it is it has been a hard slog in 20 years. Got divorced, got remarried.
Congratulations!
Thank you.
Saw your ring.
Yeah, had our 12th, 13th wedding anniversary the other day.
Congratulations, mate. Well done.
13th, actually, lucky 13. But what I bring to the table is that sort of human approach. Like, I'm not an expert. I'm not a specialist.
I love that attitude.
I love being out in the ground, kicking rocks, asking dumb questions, and just kind of teasing. Like I said, I don't know all the answers. But hey, guess
who
what?
Does? Who's got all the answers?
Yeah, let's have a yarn.
We're all learning all the time,
Yeah, let's throw a few ideas around, and you know what? And the beauty of my role is looking at hopes again. You can kind of go, we reckon there's something here. But how do we do it? Well, let's get the drill bit out and let's bloody test it. And that's the exciting thing. When I was a geo, especially on the rig, the most exciting thing for me is, as I said, you sieve the chips. They chuck the rocks on the ground, you get the sieve, you're walking back to the ute, and sieving, getting all the dust, all the fines out, and you're dipping in it. And you're the first person that's seen that rock in forever. It's 1 billion, 2 billion years old. You're the first person that's laid eyes on it. And you go underground as well. Underground is the same feeling.
Yeah.
It's I can't explain it in words. It's so exciting.
It's an exciting time to be in gold. Exciting time for you. 3 months in at Golden Horse at the Horse, mate. So I've no doubt you'll be leading the charge.
I'll be on a canter, if you will.
Beautiful, Dean. Look, mate, thanks very much for coming and spending the time with us today.
Right,
it's much appreciated. I've learnt, as per usual, a heap. And that's what it's all about. And obviously we'll get this up and edited for you, and you can get it out to those bloody shareholders.
Yeah,
get it out and hopefully some prospective investors.
There's only one thing left to say.
Go, mate.
Get on the horse.
Get on the horse. Get on the horse. All right. Well, thank you very much for tuning in to another episode on the Gold Room Podcast. It was awesome getting Dino in the studio. Let us know in the comments who you want to see on the podcast next. Cheers.